try and stream to both YouTube and Twitch today to see how that goes. It's like I said earlier, which you couldn't hear me because my mic was off. It's only my second stream, so I am trying a few things out here. And I want to see what is going on. Ooh, now this is a juicy one. Got King 9 of hearts in the big blind on a flop of Queen Jack hearts and 5 of spades. 3 ways here. Flop checked around. I'm going for a bigger sizing on the turn. And a big sizing on the river, even though it paired the board. The 6 of hearts comes in. I have the second nut flush. Yep. As soon as I get called, I know I have the best of it. Guy called a raise pre-flop. Queen 10 suited on the button. Not the worst call. But then checked it on the flop. That I don't get. You check the flop with top pair. You got to try and clean up your equity. Now this backdoor flush comes in. I have a pair of aces, no kicker. Pick it up again. We are up to third in the 50, which I wish I could switch over to this one because I'm running far better in this than I am in the mystery bounty. In the mystery, I am just card dead. So Queen 9 of hearts on it. Ace 10 deuce rainbow. Not much going on here. Gotta leave that one alone. 9-10 calls. Yeah, I guess. You know, I can bet, like as we see, I bet a lot of things there. When it runs out clubs and a second ace, I don't think when I check the turn, I don't think I can credibly rep that ace on the river. Maybe I could rep the flush, but I think he's a sophisticated enough player that's played enough hands with me that I think he might have looked me up. Might have looked me up. So, as I mentioned on Monday, I'm hoping to be able to stream Mondays and Wednesdays over the summer. Get this going, see how it goes. I won't be able to stream next week. I'll be away out of town. I still be able to probably fire a couple tournaments, but I won't have my streaming set up with me. I have to see, maybe I could still do it from my laptop. I don't know if my laptop can do it. If I can from the laptop, I might do it anyway, but it'll definitely be a bit of a different setup than this. Finally, we get a hand on the mystery bounty, pocket jacks. UTG +1, we will open. Ooh, and then Gringo and another all in. So, what do we think of this? That was a pretty quick jam. I think it's going to be ace-x. The other one's ace-x. I think we give it a call here. Tens and a queen. We flop a set. knock them both out and chip up quite nicely. That was that was nice, especially because it was Gringo who we crushed on that first hand, and then the other player who trapped with the aces. And what did he hit? Queen four offsuit. Why would you jam there with queen four offsuit? I think some people don't understand how the mystery bounties work. I think they think it works like a regular progressive bounty, but the mystery bounties don't kick in until you're in the money. I cannot think, and he didn't cover the guy. So either he just wanted to crash and burn and either triple up or be gone to rebuy with 45 minutes left in the rebuy. That's the only explanation I can think of. But I am more than happy to take his whatever 15 chips or whatever he had there. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. I had ace nine under the gun offsuit in the 50, and it was exactly when I had the jacks, so I folded to concentrate on the jacks, which I probably would be folding ace nine offsuit under the gun there anyway. But as happens so often on those hands where you're like, oh, maybe I'll play this, maybe I won't, and you probably shouldn't play them. Flop comes ace nine with two clubs. Players getting a little aggressive on it. There's a chance that maybe they had something like a set and it was a good fold because I would have been blasting off. We're fifth right now in the $50 nightly. I like where we're sitting there, 11th out of 116 in the mystery bounty. I like where we're sitting there. Sometimes patience is a virtue. Sometimes patience just kicks you in the teeth. But if it's not worth it before you know the flop, it wasn't worth it at all, and you shouldn't be playing it. I mean, if you're not folding winners, then you're playing too many hands. Somebody said that to me years and years ago, and it is 100% true. And you got to remember that no matter what, you can't just hope. So 5-minute break is started on the mystery bounty. So I guess it automatically, since I'm doing game capture, it's switched over to my other game. And since we are on break, I am going to go and take a break. So I'll be back in about 4 minutes. Okay, we are back, and somehow it has switched us to the 50. So we will be showing that one for now. All right, I think this is working now. I think I just got the stream up on running on YouTube. So we'll see if anybody picks it up there. So we are sitting 6th out of 30 on the 50 and 13th out of 119 in the mystery bounty $30 nightly. So sit pretty good in each. Would love to chip up a little bit more and make a good run in both of them. So if anybody is picking this up, love to know where you're watching from. Drop something in the chat. Let me know where you're at, and I will do my best to keep up with it. Like I said, very new to all this, so it might be a lot for me to play a couple tables, watch the chat, but eventually I'll get used to it. Hopefully I'll get used to all that, figure out how to get the scenes going so I can go back and forth between tables when something interesting is happening on one or the other table, and make this stream something entertaining to everybody. Entertaining, educational, all that nice stuff. The other thing I got to figure out is about streaming something aside from my yapping. See if I can get some background music going. Oh, I just realized I don't even have my lights on. That's why I look a little dark. Why that one doesn't want to come on, but that's a little better. Don't look like I'm in the shadows now. Another part of this whole streaming thing that I am not quite used to yet. Getting everything ready, turning all the lights on, getting the backdrop up, everything else. But we'll get there. But like I was saying about trying to get some background music going, I want to make sure that it's nothing that'll get a strike against the channel or any kind of demonetization whenever it gets to that point on either YouTube or Twitch. I tried to do a little bit of, background music the other day, create something, but it didn't come out the way I wanted. I was trying to use one of these new AI tools to create just some random background music. And even though I kept telling it not to put any lyrics, it kept putting lyrics, and some of them were just gibberish, like not even real words. And so after tinkering with that for a bit, I figured I would try again another time, try and see if maybe I can download something from YouTube, some royalty free background music that fits my style, something a little punk or punk adjacent, and see if I can make it less boring, less dead air, give it a little something behind me while I don't have much to say. Yeah, in case you're wondering, I do also do a little bit of writing. I have a bit of a old fashioned type of blog going over at pokerpunks.com. Some of it's on the instructional side, you know, articles about playing poker. Some of it is hand breakdowns, analysis of hands that I've played. Uh, some of it is there's some beginnings of some teaching material on there that I've started doing. I am kicking around the idea, maybe doing a little coaching at some point, um, specifically geared towards rec players who want to get a little bit more serious about the game, but aren't looking to play massive stakes. Um, you know, I am gonna get on my soapbox now and say I am old enough to remember, but I am. Back when I started playing poker, it was the late '90s, and there was no limit cash games. It was all limit cash games. So I was a holdout for quite a while, uh, not wanting to jump over to the no limit bandwagon that took over after Moneymaker. But eventually I did because aside from real big games, limit games just dried up. People, you know, a lot of people who gamble, which in one sense, poker players are gamblers, uh, they are looking for the rush. And, you know, $2, $4 bets aren't as exciting as $200 or $400 bets, especially if you are doing it as a bluff. So the days of limit hold'em, they were numbered back then. And uh, funny enough, the very first poker tournament I ever won was a live limit tournament at Borgata, probably around 2003, maybe 2004. Um, they would spread a lot of no limit tournaments, but I want to say it was like a Wednesday. It must have been like a Wednesday in the summer. We went down and I hopped in this limit tournament and took it down. It might have had maybe 30 entries. I can't imagine having much more than that back then, but it was pretty cool. Gave me the taste for it of taking down tournaments. And now 20 odd years later, here I am still doing it in my basement by myself. Family is away today, so I am able to fire whatever I want tonight and that is taking the form of the nightly 50 on PokerStars PA and the $30 mystery bounty also at Stars PA. It's kind of funny now that Pennsylvania has joined the multi-state. I've been checking out some of the other sites to see if the games have gotten bigger uh, on them, and they really haven't. Um, at least not that I've seen. I checked out MGM, checked out WSOP. I mean, WSOP is probably my second choice for playing online in PA. I like, the fact that it's associated with WSOP. I don't have much in there, but I will sometimes play satellites for some of the bracelet events. Haven't satellited into anything big yet, but maybe. This is an interesting one because it puts the straight out there, but he would need to have King 10. Now that's a bad card. Oh, thank goodness. What did he have? Jack 9. Oh man, that king doesn't come off. We are doubling up there, I think. I have a feeling 2 pair versus 2 pair is going to get in there. Especially when he bets so big on the turn. Wow, this is interesting. Well, damn it. 10. Come on, 10. Damn it. Ran my queens into aces in the mystery bounty. Now we are on dust. I got 4-bet pre by a very wide range play. Well, he's only got 10 hands so far. Got 4-bet. Instead of 5-bet jamming, I decided to see a flop. Flop came 8-9 jack. So I have an over and a gut shot. So it went bet almost all. He left like 2 blinds back, and I raised for the extra 2 blinds to find he had aces, and it went brick. I could not improve, and unfortunately we're down to 10 bigs in that one, but still 10 bigs, can run it up. We'll have to see what we can do. I mean, there's 25 minutes left in rebuys. I doubt I will rebuy short. I'll probably jump into the $20 bounty builder instead. This is interesting. What do I beat? Flush draws I beat. So King 7 of hearts in the small blind. This is going to be ripped in. I'm going to be ahead most of the time here. And if I'm not, so be it. Get a call from the 3 of them. Flop a flush draw. No. Down to 1.5 blinds. Pocket 9s got me. Pocket nines. See, this is another spot again. Ace 10 offsuit from the blind, small blind with a 3-bet. That's definite fold. Now I have ace 10 offsuit and the cutoff in the other one, but I only have 1.43 bigs. It's going in there. See if we can quintuple up. It's not looking good. Jack 7-4 rainbow. Not looking good over there. With a donk bet and a raise and 4 callers. Yeah, I'm done over there, I'm sure. Surely I am toast over there. Well, I wasn't dead. He had a jack, but for 21 blinds, let's fire one more bullet over there. See if we can spin 21 up. Ace 10 again, offsuit in the blind. This seems to be the hand du jour tonight. I gotta fold this, even though I get 4 ways. Ace comes on the flop. I have 2 diamonds and a wheel draw, and the original razors bet in half pot. The chances of ace 10 being good there are slim to none. Yeah, especially that player. Their stats are nothing outrageous. So we are not upset about that fold at all. I think that would have been a bit spewy. So now we raised our small blind and stole the big. Let's see, now this is one that I don't mind opening from early position here. Ace 5 suited. If I get 3-bet, I can just fold here. If I, yeah, see this, that's an easy fold. I don't need to get involved, especially a big 3-bet like that. I mean, he does have a 10% 3-bet, but I'm only in for 2.3 bigs, so why should I puff out my chest and get all macho and try and defend it when, based off that sizing, based off the fact that players 3-bet not enough and all the other factors, I am fine folding that one under the gun. That's one thing for me, is in marginal situations where a lot of other people will push their equities and try and get chips in with 50 or even less than 50% equity. I tend to err on the side of caution, and it has worked well for me. Last year I had 2 tournaments that I made deep runs. I had satellited into a $300 bounty builder in which I ended up taking third place for just under 10 grand. And at the final table, I was pretty short a good bit of the way and just dinked and dunked my way into third. And even that, it was a tough one to take because the hand I went out on was pocket queens. I was shortest stack, but not short. Jammed the queens, big blind called with suited middling cards and either ran out two pair or straight. I can't remember. It's a bit over a year and a half ago. It was like February, March of last year. And that was that. I mean, it was understandable. Two suited cards. I think my bounty at that point was 2K at least. It wasn't a ton of chips to him. So be it. Same thing. I had one of the Sunday majors. I made a deep run where I think I ended up second for, I think it was 6K, because I think first was a little under 9K. And that one, the first one I satellited into was a $30 satellite into the $300 buy-in. Spun that up to just under 10K. The other one was a normal Sunday major, and I think I was on one bullet for that one or two. So it was either in for 10 or 20 bucks, and spun that up to 7K ish, 6K. Yeah, so it was two great scores last year. Had a few decent ones this year, but nothing in that realm. I haven't played as many of the bigger ones, so I haven't had as many shots to get a big score like that. But hopefully, I'll be able to get in at least one of the nightlies sometime soon, where I can make a deep run and get a big score again. So we got a gutter here to a 7 on the 50. If we can get it, check. Nope. Because we have a 1-liner to a 3 out there. He shouldn't have a 3, but just because he shouldn't doesn't mean he won't. That's one of the things. I mean, he doesn't have terrible stats, but he did limp. He could have all the suited wheels, or at least the wheel aces. I'm not going to call for a 4-outer there. Now, this is interesting. This guy has a pretty big 3-bet at 20%. I just have a bad feeling about this one. I know Ace King is a strong hand, but to an open and a 3-bet, I was going to try and get it in with him if it was heads up, but I'm not loving it 3 ways. Interesting that he's not getting it in. So he must have 3-bet pretty light, which I figured he will. So he's 20%. See, he's only got 34 hands that we've been here with. So his stats are a little wonky, but I'm going to tag him orange. Orange is kind of my caution. That's kind of my wild card players, my maniac-y type players, players that are good, solid, put the pressure on you guys. I tag them red. The fishy players I tag green. Gotta get that in there. Pocket fives on the mystery bounty with 11.7 bigs. But I am getting called in two places there. Spade. Nope. I'm not going to fire another bullet in that. I will move on over to the $20 bounty builder tonight. Ran my fives into ace queen. They flopped a queen on a monotone board where I had the only spade of the three of us, but I could not get there. And that happens sometimes, and that's okay because we are still doing pretty good in the 52nd so far. We're able to pick up that little pot with the 8-7 suited with that second barrel on the turn when the ace came. That's one thing with these tournaments. You get a lot of calls on your first barrel. The second barrel is where they start believing you. So when that second barrel goes in, you need to make sure the story makes sense. A lot of people are betting ace highs, so when an ace comes on the turn, especially if you get checked to, it's not that hard to rep that ace. If they're the type of player that is floating with an ace, then you can back off that. But it's a good turn card to barrel for me, especially having a pair. If he was on the club draw there, I can rep the ace. If he didn't have the ace of clubs, then we get a fold like we did. So get a quick couple of chips there when nobody wanted to play. That's fine. I am definitely of the pick up all the small pots you can. Small pots add up over time, especially if you can pick up enough of them. But going back to that ace king from earlier, from the big blind when doozy opened and big C 3-bet, when it's a 3-bet pot, I like ace king a lot less than I do if I'm the 3-better or the opener, because the chances of both players having worse than ace king there is fairly slim. It just, because the thing is, even deuces are ahead of you. I mean, not by much, but I prefer to get it in stronger, and especially when doozy 4-bet all in, I am pretty certain the minimum he's doing that is with a hand like jacks, queens. I mean, he's going to do that with aces and kings too. So that's a range that I'm not doing great against. Now in the bounty here, oh, this is brilliant. We got kings in the small blind, a limper who's a 60% VPIP, and now we flop top set. We're going to bet small. He calls. Bet small again. On a jack turn. Oof, this is not great. 4 to a straight run out. And he has an ace 8 on a flop of 10-8 king. I flop top set, and it comes running queen jack. I bet it, and he just calls. He doesn't even raise. Like, you're not losing to anything there. There was no flush. But, you know, I like my play there because if I don't bet there and he jams, then, I mean, obviously I have to fold, but it's a spot where, you know, he could totally have anything, and, you know, he could be getting me off the best hand where, I mean, he's a 65% VPIP. So he could have literally any two cards. He could have pocket eights, pocket tens, pocket queens, pocket jacks. For all I know, he could have queen 4 offsuit and just be calling with third pair, no kicker. So betting there, I don't want to. I mean, I bet small-ish. I don't want to give up the equity. Don't want to give up the value, I mean. And sometimes you're going to value own yourself. And that was one of them. I knew if he raised, I had a fold because there's zero chance of him not having a straight. But there was definitely a chance of him having a lot worse hands. And so, since he was a fishy player, I wanted to go for a little bit more value. And if you value on yourself sometimes, you value on yourself sometimes. So that chipped us down a bit, but there's still another hour left of rebuys for this one. So I'm not particularly concerned. We're on 31 bigs, so plenty of time and room to spin it back up. Over here on the 52nd still, I like that. I will be looking for good spots to put some pressure on some of these smaller stacks. None terribly fishy. This one's a little on the fishy side. It's only 31 hands, though. I don't like to really make a call on how the player is until we get into like something like this. You know, 14 VPIP on 218 hands. That's not much. That's a very tight VPIP. So that's definitely the type of player that I need to pay attention to their bets and raises because they are going to be very narrow. You know, Andrew Yang, he's definitely a good player. This could be a lot of different, like that could be just a squeeze where he knows that they're both going to fold because it went raise call. You know, he could squeeze there probably with something as low as ace 5 suited, knowing that he's still got 54 minutes of rebuy and knowing there's a 99% chance that he's getting two folds unless BB Kingfish had aces or kings. Picked up a couple blinds from under the gun on the $20 bounty builder. Much appreciated. offsuit in the big to a raise from a player who has not pre-flop raised yet and folded, and nothing going on there for my ace three. So that's one of the things I think a lot of people don't consider, especially from the blinds. When there's a raise, the player in the small blind called. They are fairly wide. They're just on the cusp of what I would consider fishy with a 32 VPIP. A lot of people think, oh, I've got a call with an ace there because I'm priced in. But that is far from the truth, because when you have that weak of an ace, you're not priced in, because odds are you are far behind. Now here, this guy, since I know he is fishy, I'm just going to get it in with him. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Kingfish should fold. He will probably call with worse. Yep. And he gets lucky, and then I get lucky. So that all worked out in the end. I could tell by his stats that he was going to be less than optimal there. After that, 3-bet with ace 10. I'm going to 3-bet the button, or open the button here with a limper. This is a hand that can play pretty easily post flop. And a lot of times I should get a fold here from your chips, my chips. When they limp pre-flop like that, especially under the gun, they are not strong. I'm going to leave the fives go. Give Andrew a little respect. So, this is interesting. Damn. I guess it's good that I didn't jam there. I had pocket sixes on the other table. Call the normal open. And then there was a min click 3-bet and a caller before it got back to me. I called to set mine. Wow. Ace queen. That's good. Fine. 5 deuce suited. Called the 3-bet, but I think he was the opener. I mean, he did flop a pair and a flush draw somehow, but what in the world are they thinking? Ace 9 suited over here. When I get jammed into, that is a quick fold. I don't need to. I mean, this guy has got a really high 3-bet. Usually a 3-bet between, I mean, it's not really high. 3-bet between 8 and 10 is pretty standard for a decent player, but I am certainly not ahead of whatever he's jamming there. There's no way he's jamming ace 8 or worse. So it's an easy fold. You know, I don't want to limp there because then I don't want to be limp calling. 6-5. This is an interesting one. Bottom end against Andrew, who can be pretty wide. So let's bet, size it up, take it down. Couple quick blinds there. I'm all for it. Still sitting in second. nothing going on for me over on the $20 PKO. Sitting on 26 bigs, but not doing too great. 40th out of, or 41st out of 44. So that one I'm going to need to chip up soon, which I can. I mean, it's still over 20 bigs. It's nothing to panic yet. See, now this is a hand that's marginal that if it came to me, I would probably open. Calling, that's a recipe for disaster. You're going to end up flopping top pair with either your king or your jack a lot of times and find out that you are no good when anybody keeps up with you. So in that situation, I'm fine getting away from it. Now, on the other hand, king, queen of diamonds from the small blind to a min raise. Flop comes king, queen, 3, all spades. We have a fish who was the pre-flop raiser. Checks through. This is getting bet. Now that we see the 3 of diamonds on the turn, no one should have a 3. So we're going to get it all in here. If he has a flush, he has a flush. But with that board pairing, I don't see how he wouldn't bet a flush on the flop because he was the pre-flop raiser. He raised my 2/3 bet. Now he min clicked it. And now he's not sure what to do. And of course he has aces in that 3. Just screwed me. But we'll fire another bullet. That sucks. I think if I check and jam that river, he is going to fold because he had aces with no spade, and the river was a 4th spade. He could not call there with just aces. Damn 3. Why couldn't one of the other cards paired filled me up? But we reload for 41 bigs and start the quest over. Luckily, the 50's been going pretty well, so we will try and keep that one going. See, now this is the sort of things that gets a lot of recreational players in trouble when they see, oh, I had queen deuce, flop comes deuce, deuce, king. Man, I wish I would have got in there with that. No, you don't. You know, because you're going to call queen deuce offsuit 100 times and hit one flop. So you're going to lose 100 bigs. You're going to lose 99 bigs to win 3. That was an overplay. Your chips are not your chips anymore. They're your chips. They are Andrew's. Because Andrew exploited you and got max value. Now go small here. Make it look like I want him to call. Go check on that. Check there. There we go. That's what I want to see. If a heart would have come off, I probably would have bet it. Probably wouldn't have called because I don't think he had a heart, but he's going to call that first bet there with second pair. Luckily, I had better than second pair. Anybody else I'd probably defend, but he is a very tight player, so do I really need to defend an ace deuce offsuit to them? No. I do not need to defend that to them. Ooh, this is an interesting little spot here on the other table. I opened to 3.5 bigs with a limper, an early position limper, and we have 8, 9, jack with 2 hearts. I have king, queen, offsuit, no heart. So I have just a gutter ball. And I am firing a second barrel here to try and take this one down. I'm going to jam that and get the fold. Felt that they might be on a flush draw, so I felt that if I jam the river, I could get rid of them. And I think I got max value there. Third pot bet on the flop, third pet bet on the turn, jam the river to get the fold. And if I'm wrong, there was still 47 minutes to rebuy. And sometimes you got to do that. If you have the read that they're on the flush draw and the flush bricks out, you just need to figure out what they'll call and bet a little bit more. This is an interesting spot. Interesting spot. Let's hope they do not have a spade. No, but they did have a flush that they called with on a 4-spade board when I bet 2/3 when I hit my set on the river. That's why. 41 pre-flop. Fishy doesn't know how to read a board. That should be an insta-fold for that. But when they are too wide, they call you down. So I flop open-ended here, but the bottom end of it. Let's see if we can get this one through. No, but we did make a pair, and it checked through on the flop, and pair is good. So the semi-bluff turn turns out, oh, my 9-10 outpipped the 10-8 of diamonds that picked up a diamond draw to go with their gut shot. So that worked out pretty well. I think that got me back all the chips I lost the last hand. Oh, an interesting one developing over here. Three-way all in. Jacks versus queens versus ace king. And the worst of it gets there. The worst of it gets there. And now Mr. Boo-hoo, my jacks lost. Your jacks were losing anyway, bud. You had 2 outs. Now I'm just going to jam. Now I'm just going to jam. Does he do it again? Yep. This is Mr. Butthurt, who doesn't realize 20 bigs is plenty to spin it up. And if you have a value hand, why would you bet that much? Let's see if he does it again. Tempted to limp here, but I think he's still butthurt and in a jammy sort of mood. Let's see if he's still in a jammy mood when Andrew opens. Not so jammy. All right, let's see if we can get something going with our pocket kings here. We bet Andrew. Let's hope he doesn't have aces. I'll take it down. I will take it down there. Nice, easy, no sweat. 4.5 bigs, I think. Ooh, now I have ace king off on the $20. And I'm three betting the guy that just three bet me when I had ace 10 off and opened. So let's see if they want to get it in. They're thinking about it, but they choose not to. So now I have jack six of diamonds here. I'm going to open this, see if I can get a fold from a very wide player. Nope. But I do flop a jack on a very crappy board for me. So I'm just going to check it down with them and be good. 4 clubs on it. He had a 10-7 offsuit. That's what I'm saying, man. I opened a 3 from the small blind, and he still calls with 10 high unsuited. Why? Like, at that point, you're just, I mean, you're gambling, but you're not even gambling good. We'll take a flop here with this ace 7 suited. Let's see what this happens now, because didn't love it, but when he calls, 30 bird calls, I can't reship. Can't reship when Dirty Bird called. And with no club, no ace, no 7, that's the end of that chapter. Another 35 minutes of rebuys in the 50. And 9 spots are getting paid here tonight. So far, 4th out of 36 left in it. Pretty good. Pretty good. 8-9 off. We will pass on that, especially BB Kingfish is still a little bit salty about his jacks getting decimated in that three-way all-in a little while ago. Now, on the other table, I've got 10-6 off in the big. It gets raised, min clicked up, and I will not defend. But it actually was a good flop for me with 3 diamonds, turn a jack, give me a gutter, and I end up rivering a pair that would have been good. Oh well. So it looks like we're about to go on break here. The $20 PKO is on break. This one will be going to break after this hand. So I'm going to go take a quick break, and I'll be right back with you guys. All right, we're back. Jack 10 off. No, thank you. Under the gun. I do have ace 4 off on the other table on the button with a limper. So I'm going to open that. Let's see if, well, that's probably a bad open now that I've done it. Got a couple call stations in there. But I flop a gutter. See if we can bet them off of it. Ooh, picking up aces over here on the 50. Bad turn card for me over here, so we need a 3, which we did not get. So we are not putting another dime in there, but we are going to be ripping into Dirty Bird here. Come on, get it in, Dirty Bird. You know you want to. I am going to try and induce a jam from him. Perfect. Planned to perfection. I had a feeling when he called the 3-bet and didn't jam that he had a middling pair. Well, not a middle. I mean, jacks are a decent pair. He had a pair that he wanted to see a flop with to make sure an ace didn't come off, and that giving him that rope, he was gonna jam because he's trying to get ace king, ace queen, ace jack to fold. So I think that was a good play on my part because it worked out and chipped it up. Now we're back into third. Other table, we got ace jack of hearts on an ace 8 10 2 diamond flop with a player betting into us for half their stack. They have 9 10 and do not get there. Bounty acquired. Chips acquired. That's the way I like doing it. So, as I mentioned before, you could head over to pokerpunx.com to read some of my blogs I've been posting up there. A lot of it is about playing small stakes cash games. Some of it is about tournament play, but most of my experience is with cash games. I've been playing poker for over 25 years. And over the last 4 years, I've really put in a significantly larger amount of time to studying and learning how to play better. And so the whole website kind of came about from, I had a vlog a few years ago that was something I really liked doing, but it turned out my local card room Punx, who were fabulous with me, worked with me to let me get the vlog started. They got in trouble with Casino Control over another vlogger who came in, made a vlog without permission, and showed faces and things that kind of aren't kosher. I live outside Philadelphia, and Pennsylvania is a very odd state in many ways. It's very puritanical in the center, and then you have Pittsburgh and Philly, which are pretty progressive. So you get this kind of dichotomy of the two kind of polar extremes of like political thinking. And when people complained to casino control about being seen on a vlog, they quickly came in and squashed it and said no more cameras at the table for a while. Like you couldn't even get on your phone at the table, um, even if you weren't in a hand for a while, and kind of pissed people off. Like, it was a shame because some of the guys that are regulars there started to get to know me in the vlog and really liked it and liked seeing me sit down. Um, I had an agreement with them. If anybody didn't want to be on it, either I could not film while I was on that table or table change to a table where nobody objected. And I was fine with that. I wouldn't want to put somebody on a vlog that didn't want to be there. Um, you know, whether they're thinking that their play is going to get exploited somehow or if they just are not into it. Like not everybody's into um, the vlog culture, the vlog scene. um, so I was fine not putting people on, and there were even plenty of people that asked me to, hey, can I be on the vlog, am I going to make the vlog, and wanted me to show their face on it. But my deal with Parks was like, no faces. Um, I gave some guys some shout outs by name who I played with often, but I didn't show anybody's faces aside from my own. And my own, I was kind of like what I have here. I had my camera and my backdrop, and was going over the hands. But yeah, this other vlogger came in, didn't understand that, um, you know, what they did was going to ruin it for everybody. Because there was another young vlogger, Ace Poker, who I haven't seen him do any videos for a while, but he was doing it too from Parks. And I know he was trying to go through the same channels I did to get permission to do it, um, while still kind of doing it on the down low. And he was doing it out of a lot of home games in Jersey, which um, I'm not part of the home game scene at all. Like to me, home games are a gamble that's not worth the risk. Um, when we have legal casinos literally 15 minutes from my house, I don't see the reason to go to some acquaintance's house to play in a game that you don't have any real guarantee is on the up and up, that it's not going to get robbed, that it's not going to, be cheated or anything like that. Um, yeah, I mean, I get it that home games can be lucrative, but I'm not a grinder. I don't do this for a living. I'm a scientist for a living. I don't, I do poker for fun on the side. And of course, like anybody who plays poker, I want to make money. And, uh, but I didn't get into the home game scene. There used to be a few underground clubs in and around, between Philly and New Brunswick that, before any of the casinos had legal card rooms, I kicked around the idea of checking out. But every time I was kind of about to get up the nerve to do it, they'd all get raided and shut down. So I never ended up checking any of those out. But um, to that point, the other vlogger came in and kind of ruined it for us. To their credit, not that I'm going to name them or call them out in any way, they did reach out to both of us and say, "Hey, sorry, I didn't know," because they were used to just doing it like underground style, where you just kind of have your phone, you record, you don't really say much about it, and um, they just didn't think of the fact of not showing faces in the vlog when they edited it, which that happens, whatever. Um, So that's why I stopped doing the vlog back when I did. 2 summers ago, I transitioned it to doing it as a podcast, which I liked doing. It just got to be, um, by the end of summer, it got to be tough to keep doing it with the kids' school schedule and soccer practice and things like that. So it kind of fell off to the side um, then, and I'm looking to maybe try and start it back up as an additional podcast to the streams uh, over the summer. Um, Hopefully, I'll be able to do that. With the idea I have for the podcast is to do it in a way where uh, it's more informational than it is just talking about hands. Uh, I want it to be a podcast for recreational poker players who are looking to get better and get better at low stakes. One of the things I found, I use a couple sites for training, um, and the sites that I use I really like. Crush Life Poker is one of them, um, and then there's another podcast I really like, Poker on the Mind. Gareth, who is a nice bloke from England, uh, does with Dr. Trisha Cartner, I think her name is. Um, Great poker podcast around the mental side of the game uh, that I listen to every episode that they put out. And Gareth does some training. I haven't done any of his trainings yet, but I do subscribe to his newsletter. I read that most of the time. Um, I've checked out his materials, and he has like a pre-flop trainer that you can access for free that I use to study with from time to time. But one of the things that I've noticed is a lot of the material out there to study from, it is a bit higher level. Um, it's not geared towards players who might play, once a week, once a month, every other month. Um, it's not geared towards them. So it, sometimes it's talking above them, or sometimes I'll hear like, especially sometimes Bart Hansen in the call-in show, which I listen to religiously. I'm a subscriber. Uh, some of the lines he sees in um, in some of the lower stakes hands, at least for what I see in my local card rooms, on the East Coast, sometimes they're a little bit loose. And I get that, to be balanced, you have to uh, get it in marginally sometimes. Um, but, my kind of style and, um, philosophy is a little bit of um, risk avoidance. I prefer to be the aggressor than call off the aggression. So, what I'm trying to do with pokerpunx.com and uh, what my vision is for the podcast is to do it in a way that is um, informational to a rec player and hopefully help them improve on their poker journey. Uh, Might sound a little cheesy, but um, you know, it's it's something that I like to do as a side thing. Um, it's kind of my creative outlet, and whatever I can do with that, I do. been a little while since I put up any articles. I have one kicking in the back of my head that I want to get up there pretty soon. But there's only so much time when I'm grinding out a couple tournaments a night. You know, I have a regular job where I'm a research scientist, so that can be demanding at times. So it's kind of one of those, I try and fit it in where I can and when I can, and you know, do my best with it. So getting down here to about 13 minutes left in the rebuy period for the 50, sitting second out of 35, which I like. I guess I'm sitting right behind Andrew because he is to my right with 72 bigs. And if I'm second with 63, he's the only one ahead of me. So I would love to be able to double through him for obvious reasons. For one, who doesn't want to double up? But two, he's definitely a pretty good player in my opinion. So if I can double through him and cripple him, that just makes it a lot easier for me. And luckily I've had a couple good hands against him, and he's been pretty passive when it's blind v blind. Luckily in most of those I've caught at least a piece of the board and been able to pick up, you know, 2-3 blinds there. But I'd love to set over set on or something like that to get a big pot going. Let's see what happens with this. I doubt that I will get a free flop here. This guy is super wide, but somehow that hand fell in the 40% of hands he won't play. Wow. This is like the third time that we have been like this. I don't see the need to put anything in there. He was definitely not folding a pair. And I had a gut shot and an over. Then cost me nothing. I was in for one anyway. So all good, just checking that one down, not getting fancy with it. Plus it reinforces the ones where I did bet that I had something, so next time it happens and I bet, that'll be in his head. He'll remember, hey, he checked down before, so if he is betting here, he likely has something. So yeah, hopefully we can get that blind back next time. That was an interesting hand there. Aces min raise pre against ace four. How did those clubs really, I mean, I guess it was a decent pot, but ran out clubs, so top set versus two pair, couldn't bet the river. That's an interesting one, especially against a player who's wide like this. Now this player, I had a note from a long time ago, I guess when the last time I played them, that they called a really big bet on the turn with a gut shot. So they are definitely, as their stats are indicating, pretty fishy. So I'm going to change him from orange to green because that is what I'm using for the fishy color now. Nope. Thought we might see an all-in there, but Daniel Danielson thought better of it. going on either table right now. We got a four-way pot there with 3 to Broadway and busted flush draw. King Queen, that is raisable, and pocket sevens on the other hand, on the other table is also raisable, even from under the gun on that one. I'll probably get 4 callers over there. So Daniel called. He only called. So he can't have anything too good. If he had ace X, I think he jams. I'm going to bet here and see if I can take it down now. If he raises, I can just fold, but I do have a gut shot, an over, and a back door. 2 overs and a back door. 2/3 pot will get it done. The other table was what I thought was a decent flop, although this guy is a bit of a crazy man. With the pocket sevens, I got 4 callers, which I thought I would. Flop came 8-5 deuce with 2 hearts, and the guy from the small blind immediately let out for pot. So I was done with the sevens there, and I think it just folded around. Now we have a guy all in for 2.4 blinds, it looks like. But unfortunately, I missed everything. But here, Queen 9 on Queen 10-10. Let's see if we can be good. Yes, we can. And that bumps us up to first over here. All right, so we're going to reship into this guy. I have ace king off to the same guy who just ripped into the 8 high flop when I had the sevens. He's got jacks. And I am sayonara. Could not improve. I think I will jump back in for a max late reg on that one. Ace 8, no, thank you. Not with everybody and their mother in here. I mean, when it goes raise, all in, call, ace 8 is not likely doing well. I'm going to say Andrew's going to have, if he had a pair, overpair, he would have raised. He might have like 9-10 suited. Because I don't see what he wouldn't have 3-bet. Like, that would just be 2 overs here. Deuces, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense for a call and then a lead. I was trying to think, I'm like, even pocket 9s, I think he would have led. Now I have ace 10 offsuit, UTG +1 in the bounty builder. Got 1 call so far that I am even in chips with. Ooh, terrible flop. Queen 7-5, all diamonds. I have not a diamond. And so therefore, have to wave the white flag here. Ace Jack now. Let's try this again. Wow. Called off his stack with third pair. That's interesting. I have a feeling he's going to jam here, but I'm fine taking the jam. Oh, he folded. I would have been fine taking the jam with sevens. Ace three. Nice. Sayonara. Nice. Got it in bad. Sucked out on the river for a double up on the $20 PKO. This I don't like calling here. For 5.5 blinds with just a naked king. I mean, if he's shoving, I got to give him some sort of credit for something better than a king 8 offsuit. Got moved tables on the PKO. Big blind with king 6 off. I would love to just see a walk in the park here, but I doubt that's going to happen. Nope. Lurch is raising. Lurch. Wow, Lurch is a lot tighter than I thought. I thought Lurch was a bit on the fishy side, but apparently not. But didn't matter. Flop came nowhere near anything I have. So now it's just look and see what happens to those two. Four three off is going to be a fold on that table on the PKO. Ace 5. With the chip lead will open standard. That's what we wanted to see. This one could get frisky. Nope. Good. Steal some blinds. That's always good. Now we improve. Now we probably will get called by somebody here since it's second time. And I'm not going to mind a call so much with ace queen. I'll be surprised if Rad doesn't call. Or, oh, thought he might 3-bet me. Now I'm definitely getting called. Now I'm doing it third time in a row. Yeah, I figured as much. But I am not going anywhere with Jack 10. Oh, now I am. Now I'll fly the white flag up there now that those two going in. And I would have been not getting anything out of that. Oh, but now this is good. Because now, fourth time in a row with an open, I think I might be able to get a light jam from King Isri. Thank you. Now let's just hold. Andrew, you want to come? Nice. Love it. And we're past the rebuy, so the king is dead. Wow. Kind of like the Smith song, the queen is dead, the king is dead. And that is okay. Now, this would normally be a fold, but seeing as though I am chip leader by a mile and suited, let's take a call. All right, we flop bottom pair. see if we can get a check through now. Somebody's got something, and it isn't me. Kings versus 9-10. Wow. Again, boggles the mind sometimes. I mean, some people just cannot fold strong hands. I mean, that wasn't even that strong a hand even. Some people just can't fold. Put it in now. All right. Daniel, you want to get it in too? Let's try an ISO. All right. Oh, good. A little sweaty there. A little bit sweaty there, but all good. Choppy, choppy. Not going to call with King Jack off because I don't see him doing it with less than an ace. And why put chips in bad? Now, that's an unfortunate one. On the PKO, I had ace-10 offsuit. There was a raise and then a jam, and my ace-10 went into the muck. 2 pocket kings and pocket queens, and unfortunately, the flop came ace, ace-4, and brick, brick. I would have tripled up, but unfortunately, I could not. Unfortunately, over here, I flopped top pair against a open ender and then turned 2 pair, but my second pair gave them the straight. I could not fill up. Luckily, it was not for much, so if I have to lose one, I like losing the small ones. Don't want to lose the big ones. If I have to lose, I'll take losing the small ones. Yeah, that ace-10, it's funny, ace-10 has been a lot tonight. And it worked out once for me, but it has mostly not been. Now we have a good one here. We have ace-4 of hearts in the big blind to a 4-4 jack flop. Check through. Got a call. Can we? Yes. I checked through the flop. I bet the turn. Got the call from ace-5 on a 5 of spades turn. Overbet the pot on the river and got the call. So nice little pot there. Gets me up to 20th out of 50 with 30 seconds left of rebuys. Not calling that one. King 3 off with a couple other people already in the hand. No need for me to get in there. And I would have had nothing doing except a gutter ball, or no, open ender, but open ender on a 4 flush board. It got there, but it was not worth the investment. I'm not in the least upset not calling off. What was it? 9 deuce off or something like that. Whatever it was, got there. 9-3, 9-4. Whatever it was garbage hand. No, it was King 3. That's what it was. King 3 off. I am not upset about folding that. Now, if there were a bounty involved and it was a bigger bounty, yeah, that might be a different story. But no bounty, no incentive to get in there with garbage, so no reason to do it. other table, nothing doing there. 3-4 off. But the guy that called me all the way on the ace-4 hand, I overbet the pot for 125% on the river, and he snap called. So it's funny because part of me is like, I should have jammed there, but then if I jam there and he folds, I feel like a dunce. I overbet pot, but left myself a couple bigs behind to make it seem like I didn't want to all in bluff. And whether he would have called an all in or not, I don't know, but anytime I can get a 125% pot bet on the river called and be good, I'm happy with it. Down to 47 players. I'm 20th out of 47. 17 get paid on the bounty builder. Down to 3rd out of 26 in the $50 nightly, and 13 get paid. So pretty good there. Jack 7 off is a fold on the PKO. Ooh, a little blind on blind violence. They both flop a pair. And Daniel, I know he is wide, but you don't have to call there with a king, no kicker. You know, your best case scenario there is he has queen X. And what are the odds of it being queen 2, where you have him dominated? But it happens. Another one bites the dust over on the PKO. Turn flush for somebody that's probably close to the chip lead. Gets a knockout down to 40 over there. We're dead in the middle of the pack at 20 out of 40. And it's funny because this, I just got moved to another table on that one. And over here on the 50, I think I've been at this table the whole time. All right, flop top pair. Let's see. Nothing doing there. Now pick up a gutter. Small bet there. What's Andrew going to do? I can call. Let's put a small bet out there and see what happens. Just like I thought. I had a feeling he didn't have much, but that block bet really can keep it clean. If I get raised, I know he's either got a far superior hand or the 6. Try a little bit here, even though that king came off. Yeah, that's a bad run out. Oh, he must have had an 8. Ace 9. No diamonds, just ace 9. I'll take it. I will take it because I thought there was no way I was winning that pot with 4 to a straight out there. Right. No, there was not 4 to a straight, but there was a flush and a straight draw came in. All right, I'll take it. Doing for me there. I mean, suited one gapper, but when you're going to be 5 ways, that's a situation that you just don't need. Now I raised into a player from earlier that I bet off a couple hands from $30 tournament. not realizing it was him. Opened kind of light on the PKO, but not terribly light. And then I realized it was him, and he only had 7 blinds. I thought he might shove. I would have had to call it off, but luckily he just let it go. The other big stack here. Good. Didn't want to get into a pissing contest, and I am perfectly happy with that. Kind of bottom of my range for a cutoff open. I could open this. I'd rather it be suited, especially with, see, it's funny. BB King here, his stats are fine, but he seems to have been way looser than 21%, but that's over 435 hands. So maybe he's been a little bit looser tonight, and it just is giving me that impression. But overall, he's been in line with good stats. I think it's probably the perception, because when he had his jacks destroyed by ace, king, and queens in that 3-way all in, and then proceeded to jam 4 or 5 hands in a row, I think that's what gives the perception of him being looser than he is. We got 10 more to the money over here on the 50. We're down to 36 on the $20 PKO. 17 get paid there, so up down to 34. So we are 33. So we are what? Just about 16 to the money there, I think, if I did my math right. We're sitting 23rd out of 33, 23 blinds, a lot of threes going on there. So yeah, I don't mind where I'm at. There's a couple short stacks at the table that if I get something fairly decent, I might be able to get a bounty out of it. Well, no, one of them made a hero call. Called with 3rd pair on a river bet. I didn't watch all of it, but that seems pretty light to me. Flop middle pair and open-ended on the bottom end. Can I be, and a flush draw? That's not good. But I am good. Pocket eights, ace 3 suited that turned a flush draw. I don't like the threes here anymore, so I'm going to let them go. And should, well, if I did call there, I'm sure a jam was coming from secure the bag. So even though I would have won the hand, I would have had to call off his bet to get there, and I just don't see that happening. We're going to try and see if Andrew has anything here. Try and rep the king. Yeah, kind of hard to rep the king when he's got the king. But flop top and bottom on the other table with a flush draw. So we are going to bet this on the bigger side. Get a call. Terrible, terrible turn card. Brings in the front door flush. Pairs the middle pair. Takes away my 2 pair. And they get a jam into me. So that's a quick fold. squeeze spot here. Ace queen. I should probably get two folds here. And if I get a call, I'm going to be jamming a lot of flops. Like that one. Is it worth your tournament life? Nope. He's on the fishy side. I didn't even see that. That explains the pre-flop call of an out of position 6 blind raise. Chip down a little bit in the PKO, but queen 6 suited from the small. Yeah, we're not going to go with that. Good thing we didn't. There's diamond, but it is king, king 8 with 2 hearts and a diamond and some aggression. So that would have been out of here. Now, ace king off on the button is going to be an open rip. Let's rip it in. We got a pre-flop raiser ahead of us in the cutoff. Let's see where we're at. Ace 10. We need to hold. Oof. Did not hold. 28th out of 134. Ace 10. Flopped the gutter. Turned to 10. And I could not improve. Oh well. We're still cruising along here. 9 more to the money. Okay, ace king under the gun. We're going to try and trap. Of course, he hits a 3 outer. What BS that is. That is unfortunate. We would be massive right now. Got exactly what I wanted on the flop. Check raised him. He had the hand to call and gets there on the turn. 3 outs are the bane of my existence. Oh well. But we're still in. We're still 7th. You know, it's all good. All good. Just going to have to dial it back a little bit right now. Can't be quite as aggressive as I'd like to be approaching the bubble, but that's okay. See, if I had won that hand and was sitting on a bigs, this would have been an open, 100%. But not anymore. Going to be a little more selective. Because this is the time in the tournament where you can pick up a lot of blinds with some well-timed aggression, especially if you're the big stack. Because everybody's looking at that first pay jump from 14th to 13th being $100 versus $0. I'm pretty sure everybody would say, I'll take the $100, please. So now it's more of a wait for a spot. And even doing nothing, I just bumped up a spot to 6th. So 7 more to go to the money. Sitting 6th out of 20. Playing good. I mean, if it weren't for a 3-outer, I'd be crushing it. We got all in here. Nope. Why couldn't he not hit on me? Oh well. Well, karma got him, but I want the karma from me. Let's see, he's putting the pressure on now. Because he knows with that bubble approaching. Ooh. Big slick again. Is he going to call it off? I don't think he will. I think he's going to fold. I mean, he's wide, but I don't think he's looking to donk off. Nope, just like I thought. Nothing doing there. Jumped into a spinner on the other table. $30, just flop or turn to set. King 10 against Shorty. That's a raise. And we hold against 9-4. Not sure why he wanted to play that, but hey, we held. Now we're heads up for the $30. Of course, it is against one of my least favorite people to play heads up against because they are a bit on the crazy side. Ace-8 versus Ace-8. And no flush comes in, so we are chopping that one up. Down to 19 over here, 18. So 5 more to the money. Ace King versus Ace King. That ain't gonna get us down to 17. And we are on break over there. I am still shorty in the spinner, but getting closer. closer. Almost even. But these things are such a crapshoot. You need to hit and hold. Jack 9 of clubs on an ace 9 8 flop. Does he have an ace? Well, let's find out. Yes, he does. And the 8-8 run out is not going to help me out. All right. Well, we have 4 more minutes left of this break, so I'll be back in a minute. All right, we are back. Got about 45 seconds till the tournament starts back up. And we are waiting for 5 more players to bust for the money. Sitting 7th out of 18. Not bad, not great, but I think we can grind our way into the money. Started up another spinner on the other table, waiting for that to start. And see if we can extend our streak of cashes. It's been, I think, at least 1 cash every day for the last 2 weeks. So I'd like to extend that, but I don't want to jinx it. So, it's one of those, 7th, but that can exchange in a heartbeat with those three outers like Rad up there put on me. But that's all right. Forge on and make the best of it. Interesting little flop here. A couple of queens, a couple of spades. I would love to see Rad have a queen here against BB Kingfish because I am pretty sure he could blast. That's oof. That's rough, but that is kind of crazy. So he called that big of a bet at 12 blind. He called a pot size bet on the turn with just a naked flush draw. I mean, he had nothing else. Interesting. Now Rad's donking off all my chips. That kind of sticks in your craw a little bit when you see a player that three outed you just keep dusting off all the chips that you worked so hard for. But that's okay. That is okay. Now this we do have to call, especially against him. All right, this is going to be a make or break. Nice. I was a bit worried about ace queen there, but he called with ace king. He called with nothing. Now, what's Andrew going to do here? Does Andrew have an ace? No. Good. All right. This has been a fortuitous orbit. Chipped up pretty good. Now we just need a couple bust outs. Bust outs. I did flop a straight on my spinner. I don't remember. I was kind of like on autopilot. I was more concerned about the other table. Did I get paid on that? No. I got paid on the flop. Somebody bet. I had the nut straight, but there's a flush draw out there. I raised. Got called on that, but then the turn bet did not get a call. $30 spinner over here while I'm sweating the $50 nightly. $50 nightly looks like it's got just under 1K up top. That would add to the bankroll challenge nicely. But first things first, let's get it over the line, get in the money, and go from there. surprised that he's calling. Check that out. Flush and kings out there. Let's see what happens here. Slick calls, I'll fold. If he folds, I will call. Yeah, let's get out of here. Flush gets there. Straight gets there. Two pair gets there. Everything got there. Fold that under the gun because there's a high chance that Rad's going to jam a lot of hands, and I do not want to get caught up in the middle of a pissing contest like this. Damn it. Thought we were getting down to 17 there. On the other table, I just turned a set to double up in the $30 spinner. That is fortuitous. Andrew wakes up with the kings. And they hold. Bye-bye, Rad. Down to 17. Down to 17. 4 more to go. Sitting in 4th out of 17. Also a good spot to be. Now, normally I would raise this, but with BB Kingfish and he is a little squirrely, so I am not going to get involved here. Ooh, itchy nose. Shame I didn't get involved here. 2 pair, flush draw board. I think I'd be able to extract some pretty good value there. That would be an action killer. Oh man, I might have been able to get a lot of action on that turn with Kingfish, as we would have both had 2 pair and mine would have been of the better variety. But with everybody's stacks being so similar, I don't want to make a misstep. River to straight on my spinner, but did not get paid off. It's all right. Take it down. Ace 9 off over there. Gets a fold. Ooh. Well, Andrew, let me posture like I'm thinking for a second and then get out of your way. Yeah. See, that's one thing that I think Andrew is really good at. He is not afraid to put pressure on at this time of the tournament. I'm definitely a wee bit more passive here. Now I just flopped a flush with an open-ended straight flush draw on the spinner. Can I get anything out of it? No, but it's always nice to see. see some fireworks here. Check, check. Wow. Ace Jack checks that. I mean, like, yeah, I get it. He's not calling, but do you want to just give up? I mean, that was pretty weak. Top trips, no flush, no straights. I don't get that one. Ace Jack versus Ace 7 on the spinner. And we're good, and we take it down for 30 bucks. Wow, I'm down to 8th somehow. I don't even remember losing a hand going from 4th to 8th. So that must mean there are a few real short stacks at the other tables. I mean, I guess, yeah, there's got to be at least 3 tables, right? So this is, so we have 5 here. Yeah, it must be 5, 6, 6. All right, let's see what Andrew wants to do here. No. We're going to call. Bet small. Hopefully get a fold. Because the only things he will be calling with are kings or flush draws. Good. I like it. All right, we're down to 16. 3 more to go. Again, this weak ace I'm not a fan of against 2 fairly solid players. At this point in the tournament, I will be fine. Just half a blind. You want it, you got it. You know, I don't need to battle. Don't need to battle for half a blind and get myself into some kind of muckety muck situation. Again, this a couple unknowns behind. I'll wait for a better spot because a lot of times they're going to have a pair or a better ace. So we can just wait and see what happens. Oh, there we go. That I would not have liked. Save myself 2.13 bigs. These tempting little hands. I think if we were in the money, I would open this, but not yet. Nice. Pocket sixes outruns ace 6 offsuit. 10 Queen King flop, which was not ideal, but I will take it. Ace 10 again. This ace 10. Oh man. I raise huge and 7-8 offsuit calls on the other table. And flops 2 pair. Go figure. Go figure. Pocket deuces in the big blind. Let's see what we can do. Can we get a fold? Wow. They are calling with any pair, so we're going to size up when we have a good one. Yeah, 6-3. I would have done nothing with that, so I'm fine. Love to see a couple guys get into it. Oh, we're down to 15. 2 more to go. Got a couple stacks going at it here. Somebody's got to have the 9, right? Or no, what? Queen 9 it would be. Mm, 9-10. Ah, the flush got there. That cripples him. Alrighty, pocket 6 is held up against king 3 offsuit. I am happy to take down another 30. Steal that one. That's a good steal. Now this one I will open if it gets to me, even though I'm playing a little bit of defense. Connor on 10 bigs is going to be, oh no, that's, yeah, when there's an open, I can just fold because I don't want to 3-bet a low pair here. I don't want to call, not against a short stack, because I'm risking 2 to win 9 more. I don't see the upside there with 3s. I think 7s and up maybe, but 3s I don't see being worthwhile. Yeah, 4 or 5 off. No, now see that's where. I mean, he had 9 point something blinds. Yeah, when you're the small blind and it folds to you, I think you really gotta raise there and try and put some pressure on. But would I have done it? I don't know. I don't know. So I cannot say for certain, but I would have liked to have seen him put the pressure on. I was hoping to see Zolan. I was hoping to see a call there, but no call. Hmm. What is Andrew going to do now? Is he going get a call? Nope. And I'm pretty much fine with easy decisions, easy folds. You know, I'd love to have easy jams, but easy folds work too, because then you're not put to the test. Now here, are we going to get a call? We should. Shouldn't be opening too much that you're not willing to call off that small of a stack. But he folds. Ace-9 offsuit versus King-Queen of hearts on the other table. Flopping 9, turns 9 of hearts even. Turn is 10 of hearts, giving me the ultimate sweat, and we held. Now this one, I might, nope. Man, this guy, that's 3 in a row, but I'm not feeling it. Not feeling it. I'd love to see somebody else call. Nope. This is gonna have to play this. I think depends. I'm just gonna call against Andrew. Let's see what Bobby does. Yeah, I'm gonna not. Yeah, I know that's nitty. I am definitely nitty at times. You know, Andrew has not been opening too wide. 2 more. I'm sitting 7th. I don't need to risk it. I don't need to risk 80%, 90% of my stack to a guy that is absolutely polarized there. You know, he's raised 4 hands in a row, rips it there into 2 competent players. I just don't love it. Don't love the spot. You know, I'd rather get it in greater than 50%, not 47% or, God forbid, 30%. So, don't need to take the risk. Now this one, come on, Andrew, get it in. Well, we're on the official bubble now. Official bubble. Ace Queen of hearts on the other table. Gonna rip this one in on a 9 high flop and get away with it. So sitting 8th out of 14. 1 player to go to the money. So, and we get table changed, it looks like. And I am certainly not playing that hand. King Jack off is one of those hands that you look at it and, oh, it's two Broadway cards. It's got to be good. And so often you end up hitting a pair and being overconfident and getting stacked by king, queen, ace, queen, or king, queen, ace, king, jack, ace. Like there's just so many hands that dominate you that when you get into that spot are way more likely to be there than your hand being good. Yeah, king, queen off, especially under the gun. Heck no. Other table, I took the chip lead. I pocket sixes against ace five suited. They flopped a flush draw, turned the flush, and I am not able to improve. Had a couple outs, a deuce or a six would have helped me, but couldn't get there. That's all right. That is okay because well, I guess they had a suited ace, so. Check raising the turn on them to see if I can get them to fold. Yep. Ooh, something's going on here. Thought we might see some fireworks, but alas, we shan't. Hand for hand continues. I flop top pair over on the other table. It's in a limp pot. Let's keep it going. Just outkicked. Just outkicked 6-8 to 6-9. How the hell? That was unfortunate, but now we flopped a flush, 4 to a flush. And they don't look too into the hand, so maybe we can steal this pot. Nope. I'll pass. They called my bet. I didn't improve. They let out. Can't be good there. Cannot be good there. This I might put a chop. Yeah. I was ahead though. That sucks. Because I'm thinking on a flop of 2-2-2 King Jack that I got away with one with a 9 high. But I was the one who got chopped. Oh, this is a good sign. The longer it takes for a hand, more likely the bubble's going to burst. Ace 6 versus 8s. Can we hold? No. Not on a queen, king, queen, brick, king run out. Or, yeah, 2 pair. 2 pair with an ace beats my 2 pair with an 8. Do one more spinner until we get in the money. And then once we're in the money, we'll just concentrate on laddering up. I am certainly not your prototypical streamer playing 20 tables. I just don't have the patience for that many tables. I generally play 3 max, usually 2. That way I can give pretty much all the attention I need to each table. Um, there's another poker podcast that I listen to, Smart Poker Study with Sky Matsuhashi, and he just had one within the last 2 weeks about how many tables you should be playing, and about um, uh, you add one table, see how it goes, add another. All right, let's hope for the best here. Ace 10 versus queens. This is not good. Club. No. Could have been it, but unfortunately not. Oh, what a good turn card that was, too. Unfortunately not. Luckily, it was not my tournament life, but now I am Shorty McShorterson. That sucks. But we might have a little bit of fireworks coming here. Let's have some fireworks. No fireworks. No fired works. Ah, Ace 10 has been the bane of my existence tonight. Should have just folded it. Well, no, I shouldn't. That's a hand that should be played even from early position. If he had more chips than the 4.5 bigs that it took to call off, I would have folded and preserved them. But to burst the bubble, it was, I think, a good play, even though it didn't work out. Even though it didn't work out, I think it was the right play. All we need is one bust out. Can we get a bust out? Can we get a set over? Ooh. Ooh, Queens versus Ace King. Queens. Queens. Hasidic Homeboy. Another player that I think is a pretty good player. One of my least favorite to play against. There we go. Down to 12 already. I think if Doozy folds, I am jamming this. I want to chip up. Queen 9 suited is definitely a jam there. Ace 10 offsuit, it's going to be a jam if it gets to me. If it doesn't get to me, then it's a evaluate. Ooh. I'm going to see what happens here. Because with that chip leader, there's a lot. Ooh. That's kind of a terrible flop for me. I have a heart, but it's such a low heart. Yeah, I gotta be out of there. Cannot call that. Because that just screams ace queen, ace of hearts, king of hearts, jack of hearts, any of them. better spots to be had. Definitely better spots to be had. Is this one of them, though? I think not from this position because there's too many players left to act behind me. I don't want to be in a position where I see someone else jam like that. Yep, that would have been no good for me. I wasn't calling the jam in the first place, but it's always better to see it run out and know you were right. Getting short on the spinner. Cannot get a double up right now over there. I could use a double up over here too. Pair there, but got kings on the spinner and a call with 9-10 of hearts. And it holds. Now we got pocket fives, but he folds his option. Ooh, flush gets there. Flush, what was that against? Ace 10. That ace 10, man. It is deadly tonight. Ace 10 is deadly tonight. Ace queen over here. He opens. We're shoving. Are we getting a call? Yes, we are against Jack 10. And he flopped the straight. I have two pair and cannot improve. Now we're going to shut down the spinners for tonight and concentrate on trying to chip up here. We're 11th out of 11. We've locked up $117, but we want more. Is this it? No. Just because I know lately when I've been jamming light, I always run into it behind me. I'd rather wait and either jam stronger or be in a later position. But it's getting shallow up in here. He's going to raise, I know it, 100%. Wow, that is so weak. I have nothing that I can rip it into him with. I just don't think there's any chance that that queen high is good. I think more likely it's an ace X looking for me to rip into him. All right, let's rip it. Good. That's exactly what I wanted to see there because that was a pretty light rip. Come on, solve. Rip him off something. Nice. Oh, ace nine. King gets there. King on the flop. I'm surprised he waited that long. Ace nine suited. That should be an insta call. I mean, that's one of those ones, you know, you being either chip leader or close to it. If he's got better, it's a cooler and you move along. In that case, you were ahead and he just outflopped you. Jack 8 off. Doozy's going to limp. Oh, he rips it. Well, you're not getting called unless you're dominated, so. Jack 5 off. Don't want to rip it. Don't want to rip it. There's too many hands that will call. 10th. Somebody went out. I'm guessing 9th has got to be the next pay jump then. And 9th should be the final table. I'd love to squeak into the final table. Now, this is going to be it. As soon as Doozy raises that Queen 9 of hearts goes bye-bye. Yeah, we're on the final table bubble here. Ace 4 of hearts has got to be a rip. Nice. I'll take it. I will take it. Waiting for the other table to complete the hand. Queen 7 off. I mean, ideally here, getting a walk would be great, but not happening. Come on. I was hoping for Doozy. But that is most of his stack, so I understand it as much as I wanted you to call. So down to 10, we're 10th. Locked up 117 so far. It's been a pretty good night. Extend the streak of cashes. This is a fold. Ooh, now we got some. I didn't think that Secure the Bag would have any open folds. Not on a 16 blind stack. I thought that was going to be it. 10-5. No, thank you. Are we going to get a 3-bet here? Just thinking. Hand must be, the other table must be playing a hand. Can we get another knockout? Actually, let's sweat it. Let's sweat the other table. They are playing a handout. And there's a fairly significant pot brewing. Nope, not anymore. Not anymore. We got the small stack over there open. Call. Board paired to 9 over there. Check, check. Flush draw comes in and nothing. King 7. I will pass on that. Jack 3 suited. Nope, not from an early position raise. That is not good for me. Ooh, 3-bet on the other table, though. That is something I want to see. 2 big stacks going at each other. Are we going to get some fireworks? There's a call and an ace. Nope. Bet, fold. Oh, well, this is even like the worst. 3 high? What am I supposed to do with 3 high? I mean, that is literally the 2 worst cards I can have there. I mean, I know 7 deuce is the worst, but when you're talking about heads up, I'd rather have 7 deuce than 3 deuce. That's just plain old math for you. All right, we got a call of a open on the other table. Queen 10-6 rainbow flop. The caller checks to the razor. Bet and a fold.